Okay, Daniel in Plain Language, Part 9. We're going to look at finishing definitely on this one. We're looking at the end. We're at a part where we're coming up to the end of the tribulation. And it is said, we're going into the 12th chapter now. It is said that, and at that time shall Michael stand up, and a great prince, the great prince, which stands for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. Okay, so we do know that somewhere along about the time after that temple is built over there by Satan, that this is when things are going to get really, really, really bad. Okay, but the tribulation on the world is so severe that God cuts it short, because even though he has protected the saints from the punishment heaped upon the world, still many of them were slain by the system. You see, they're not protected from the system, from the killing of the saints from the system. Although they are protected in, if they stand for Christ, that they will have salvation. But they're not protected from the system. They are protected from the tribulation. That's punishment heaped upon the world by God. That's different. They're marked in their forehead against the tribulation, but they're still going to be very, very darkened by it. They're not going to be placed in very comfortable positions in their lives where, everything is going to be all right. And then again, it depends on their faith and how they see and understand and trust in God to protect them. But they're gonna be some days when they're just not gonna see God in all of this. And so it's gonna be ugly. Okay? And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, and many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. Now we're looking at the coming of Christ. Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and I should have wrote heavens there. And they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. This is basically plain language, so I didn't bother to do any kind of uh, interpreting there or adjusting of what was already said. I just copied and pasted basically on that, I think, on a couple of verses here. Let's take a look at the next one. Okay, the mystery of him. This is very interesting here. This is actually taking a step back to that. Now that we've come forward, we can kind of understand some things. The mystery of him that fights for his people in heaven is this. You see, in Daniel's 10th chapter, when Daniel started praying for this whole understanding, um, the he couldn't get an answer for about 20 days, and now it's going to explain why. To whom the Lord gives power on earth, he confirms in heaven, Daniel 11 and 1, and fights on their behalf in the battles which occur in heaven when the battles occur on earth. When the man-child, which is the Messiah, which is mentioned in Revelation the 12th chapter, is born, Michael warred in heaven against the red dragon and prevailed, and there was no place found for him. And he was cast into the earth, through which he could no longer influence world affairs from a heavenly perspective, and the wars in heaven ceased. Revelation 12. This is why a certain man, clothed in linen, white linen, could not answer Daniel's prayer for 20 days, because the wars in heaven were being fought. He goes on, he says, protect this book, Daniel. These words shall not be known until the end, in times when, until the end time, in a time when travel will have come to the perfection of its peak, and knowledge will be so great as to multiply science many times over unto the perfection of creation of a world you are not possibly able to imagine. And I, Daniel, looked up, and look, other two men, one on one side of the river, and one on the other side. And one of them said to the certain man on the waters, How long shall it be to the end of these wonders? And the man in white linen held up his hands, and sware by him that liveth for ever and ever, that it shall be from the Mosaic age, the Christian age, and a short time of the kingdom age, or a time, times, and a half, talking about ages. And when I have accomplished to separate all the powers of the world from the people of God totally and completely, all things shall be finished. Okay, if you haven't figured it out yet, this certain man in white linen is Christ, standing in the middle of the river, and two angels on either side of the bank asking him the question about how long shall these things be. Okay, let's go on. And as he stands on the river of Hiddekel, he concludes, that is the word flowing upon the stream from he who is the river of life. I didn't understand, so I asked. This is Daniel. But he told me to protect the book, for it cannot be understood until the time of the end. Millions shall go through the refining fire. Some will be purified, and some will be burned up. Those that continue in willful disobedience and sin will not catch this, but those that are wise will. Now when everything that has anything to do with the worship of God is sought to be destroyed, that is, the daily, and from the time the saints are set up by the agreement Satan sets for them, the abomination which makes desolation, there shall be 1,290 days, which equals an indefinite, undetermined period of time, representing a time not due. The Christ has come is false. Blessed is he that waits and comes to the 1,335 days, which equals an indefinite, undetermined period of time, representing a time due. The Father knows the Christ comes. Blessed is he that waits. The sign is given. We know the sign is he will be seen coming in the clouds from east to the west. And then also we will meet him in the clouds. We won't have to go anywhere on the earth. We will meet him in the clouds. And many that are dead shall rise at that time. And it also signifies entrenched long suffering through the ideal of oppression. But go now and rest with your fathers, and stand in thy portion in time allotted your generation at the end of days. So he's kind of in a roundabout way letting Daniel know that he is going to be one of those to be raised when he comes. Okay? So this is the Daniel in plain language. And I want to encourage you to actually get out the Bible and go through these things and see how this is put together, and um, see for yourself what the Lord has done. Prophecy is a beautiful thing once you understand it, and you have the opportunity to understand it and share this with others. It makes a difference. It serves a purpose. A third of the Bible is prophecy, and God is trying to tell us something here. And He couldn't tell us at a certain time, but He was so wise that He could use words, use concepts and ideas to be able to communicate these things to in a way that we would be able to pick up on it when His time, when He felt the time was right. And now we have to get this word throughout the world and let people know, because of the prevailing ideals, many will fall. And here are some ways that Satan will try to trap, and will not just try, but he will trap many saints with using these certain techniques that we have discovered here. And so for those that know of them and are aware and have prayed and have meditated on these things and prepared their mind to overcome. This is not just like it's going to be a really, really easy thing to overcome. When you've been persecuted, you've been in the cold, you've been hungry, your kids, your family, and all of a sudden they're telling you that, oh, if you just go to this city here, you go to this place, you're going to be safe. Okay? That's for those that overcome. For those that fall away in the very beginning, they're going to say, "Oh, if you just you got to comply, but you just you can't you got to oppose Christ. But you think that well, I can just slip by and not oppose Christ and still be able to survive. People will give in to this thing." So, but I'm out of time, and I hope this blesses you. And blessed be the pastors, the people of God, and all that have an ear to hear the message of the gospel.